This video is all about trading under 2.5 goals on Betfair, which should be one of the easiest ways to trade football, yet people often find it the hardest. So I'm going to give you 3 profitable tips that should help you start making money when you're trading under 2.5 goals. Go grab yourself a nice cold beer or a Smirnoff Ice and let's get into it. So if you are someone who has struggled to make it pay when it comes to trading under 2.5 goals on Betfair, then I think the tips I have lined up for you in this video are going to be very, very helpful. And I also have some live demonstrations as well to demonstrate exactly what I mean, recorded on the Betfair interface. So I think this video should be very, very helpful for you. But if you are someone who is quite new to trading under 2.5 goals, you might be wondering why we like to trade that market specifically. And this is the reason here. It is because it is very easy to know the price direction of under 2.5 goals. I mean, we know that once the match kicks off, as long as no goals are scored, the price is going to move in this direction. And if you are a trader, then you know that trying to work out the direction of a price is one of the big battles. And well, half the battle is won when you're trading under 2.5 goals, because we know it's going to move in this direction just as long as no goals are scored. Now, if a goal is scored, yep, it's going to move against us drastically. However, think about it. Football matches average 2.5 goals per match. So you're only likely to get caught out by this 2.5 times per match. So you just need to be in the market and avoid the goals. Okay, so we just need to get in, get out, maybe stay in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, make our profit, and then get out and just avoid the goals, basically. Not to say we can always avoid the goals, but that is kind of the battle when you're trading under 2.5 goals. Just trying to get in and out the market as quickly as possible, not being exposed when a goal is scored. So I'm going to give you a few tips, which I really, really think will help with that. But before we do that, I would love it if you could click the like button and show your support for the channel. Also, keep in mind that YouTube doesn't really like to suggest trading videos. So if you press the like button, it helps you to get more trading videos suggested to you in future, and then you don't miss a thing. And while you're here, if you just want to cut to the chase and just see all the very best football trading strategies demonstrated before your very eyes, then do check out my free football trading strategy class. This is not available on YouTube. If you do want to see it, you have to click the link in the description of this video, get through there, and then you can see pretty much all the best strategies demonstrated one by one, including under 2.5 goals and the best ways to trade that market. Okay, it's absolutely free. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you do it ASAP. Click the link in the description of the video and click through there and then check it out. Like I said, it's not on YouTube. So tip number 1 that I can give you when it comes to trading under 2.5 goals is to be a contrarian and to go against the markets and go against what everyone else seems to be thinking. I see a lot of people trying to trade under 2.5 goals by researching matches where they're trying to find matches where it's probably gonna finish under 2.5 goals because they found matches between two teams which hardly score goals. However, you have to think about it, and it's more than likely that the markets are aware of this as well, and it's heavily priced in to the price on under 2.5 goals. So you see a lot of people will back heavily odds on under 2.5 goals, and then they're just looking to trade out because obviously we know the direction that the price is going to move in. However, you're not really gaining that much of a big profit, and you're probably staying in the market much longer than you should in order to make any sort of significant profit. So you're much better off being a contrarian, looking for matches where everyone's expecting goals, but you've kind of got a read on the match where you think it might get off to a slow start. It could be a bit scrappy. Maybe the weather's not great, or you really think that the underdog could defend well and frustrate the favorite in the early stages, at least, because obviously when we're trading under 2.5 goals, we're not having a bet on it. We're not in there for the whole match. We're just in there for short periods, usually at the start of the match. So that's what you have to keep in mind. You could have a match between Man City and Stoke. I don't know why Stoke just came to mind, but it could be Man City against Stoke, and you're not trying to predict whether that match is gonna finish under 2.5 goals because we're not having a bet. What you might want to look at is whether Man City do like to start matches slow, whether Stoke are a strong enough team to defend strong in the early stages, or are they a team that crumbles quickly and concedes early on? Those are the types of things to look at, okay? But overall, you want to be a contrarian on the market. You want to look at the matches where the markets are expecting goals, but you have a feeling that the goals are going to be slow to arrive. That's pretty much our thought as traders of under 2.5 goals. And so moving on to tip number 2, and that is to let the market guide you when you are trading under 2.5 goals. I see a lot of people get involved in the under 2.5 goals market, and they're kind of just hoping for the best, okay? They will back under 2.5 goals, and then they won't follow the match, but even worse, they won't follow the markets. Now, what you can often see happen on the under 2.5 goals market is the market can go static depending on the actual in-play action. Now, when this happens, you don't want to be in the market. You don't want to be in the market at all. In fact, you're better off just abandoning the trade. You want to be in the markets when the markets are moving fluidly and they are ticking down, steaming in, and sometimes they even steam in faster than expected. And those are the markets you want to be in when you're trading under 2.5 goals. And it is pretty easy to see. And obviously, I do have some live demonstrations coming up a bit later. But you want to let the market guide you. You want to get in the market. And if it's moving fluidly, stick with it. If it's not looking great and the markets are getting a bit static, don't just stand there and cross your fingers, hold your breath, and just hope for the best. You need to take action and you need to get out, which kind of leads me on to tip number 3. And it's very, very similar to that. And for tip number 3, it is to be flexible. Okay. Always be flexible and look to try and race profits whenever possible when you're trading under 2.5 goals. Okay. So as mentioned, if the markets are going static, then that could be a good sign to get out. But if they're moving fluidly, that's a sign you want to stay in. But if the match is very slow, scrappy, dull, or the favorite is looking a bit frustrated, or there's no goal attempts, then you could stay in for longer than anticipated. A lot of people who trade under 2.5 goals like to just stay in for the first 10 minutes. But if you get to the first 10 minutes, there's been no shots on goal. It's been very slow and the markets are moving fluidly. Then why not stay in for another 5 minutes and try and race those profits, okay? We all kind of know our worst case scenario when a goal goes in and it could be a 40% loss on our stake. Well, if you're aiming for, say, 10% profit, why not try and aim for about 20% or 30% or something like that and move the risk-reward ratio in your favor? And you can do this by being flexible, paying attention to the action and the markets at the same time, and just trying to squeeze out some extra percentages of profit, because there are some times when you're getting involved trading under 2.5 goals, you are a little bit nervous, but you end up cashing out too early when really there was a great opportunity to stay in longer and make a bigger profit, and it all adds up in the long run. But anyway, I'm going to dive into some real life demonstrations of exactly this, where I take these 3 tips into account for the actual trades that we're doing. And yeah, it's going to be good. If you've got anything to say, if you've got any suggestions about trading under 2.5 goals, if it's a market you like, if it's a market you don't like, if it's one you succeed at, let me know in the comments. If there's anything you agree with in the video, anything you disagree with, healthy debate is always good. But anyway, let me know in the comments, is the under 2.5 goals market a market you like to trade? It's very interesting to know. It is a bit of a Marmite market from the sounds of it anyway. But anyway, let's dive into some real life examples so you can see exactly what I mean. So we're going to get involved in this match from the Bundesliga 2, Hamburg against Karlsruhe, and under 2.5 goals is 2.6, so over 2.5 goals 1.61. So that means the markets are expecting goals, and if you just look at the recent form, Hamburg at home, decent amount of goals flying around there, and when Karlsruhe go away, it is a similar story. So all indications suggest that there's going to be lots of goals in this match, okay? But we're going to be the contrarians, okay? If we were just having a bet on this, you might want to bet looking for goals. But as a trader, we're just looking to be in and out. And this is a pretty generous price on under 2.5 goals. So there's a lot of ticks for us to win. And as traders, that's what we're looking for, okay? We're looking for the ticks. So let's just use a £100 stake, and we're going to back under 2.5 goals. And we're going to back it there at 2.6 and get involved in the market. And so we're just going to show you an example where we're just going to use the same tips we spoke about in this video. We're being contrarian, as you can see. We're backing under 2.5 goals in a match where pretty much everyone is expecting goals. And then once the match goes in play, we're going to be flexible and we're going to let the market guide us. So anyway, let's see what happens. It's just about to kick off. I'll give you an update once we're underway. So as you can see, we're 10 minutes in, and under 2.5 goals price has dropped to 2.24, as you can see. Remember, we backed it at 2.6, so it's quite a nice move already within 10 minutes. We used a £100 stake. We could lock in pretty much 13%. Okay, but we're going to let it go. We're going to let it keep going because, as mentioned earlier on, look, we're being contrarian. We're getting involved in a match where the markets are expecting goals. So we're utilizing tip number one. But we're also being flexible because I'm ready to exit this trade if this match suddenly starts to warm up. And so far, it hasn't shown any indication of that. There's been 2 goal attempts. Both of them are off target. Neither of them anything significant. So it's been a very boring, scrappy start, which is exactly what you want. And that is also causing the odds to move smoothly. Okay, the market is moving fluidly, as you would expect on under 2.5 goals. It is ticking downwards just like we want. So if I click on that, you can see it is coming down. So as mentioned earlier on, we want to let the market guide us. If this market starts to go static at any point, that's probably our cue to get out. But while it's moving fluidly and the action on the pitch isn't really up to much, we're just going to stay in. Let's just stay in a little bit longer and see what happens. So 17 minutes on the clock, and it's probably time to exit now because Hamburg are starting to get a hold of the game. They've had a few more goal attempts. They're now starting to dominate possession. So probably that is our time to exit. And as mentioned earlier on, this is the time to be flexible. And I just started to notice, I think the markets were starting to stall around this 2.06 point. As you can see, we're trying to get 2.08 matched. Let me just have a quick look and just show you the chart anyways. It was ticking down. So if you kind of look closely where the arrow is, you can see that it's starting to get a little bit static around this point. Okay, so that's the market's not moving fluidly or as fluidly as we like because the action on the pitch is starting to warm up. And so when that happens, it's just going to be harder for us to improve our profit or to gain even more ticks. So usually that's a good sign to get out of the market and then take what we have. And as you can see, we can leave it over £52 free bet on under 2.5 goals, or we could lock in £25 and be done with it. Okay, and as you know, just to keep it simple in these videos, it's exactly what we're going to do right here. I know the beginners like to do that. So as you saw, that was an example of exactly what we spoke about in the video. Being contrarian, we were prepared to be flexible and we were letting the market guide us. Okay, the market started to go a little bit static, and you can see it's still hanging around that 2.02, 2.04. It's not moving as fluidly as it was earlier in the match, and so we are flexible enough to walk out and take the profit at that particular point. So anyway, 18 minutes on the clock, 0-0, and we've made a £25 profit, 25% return on our stake. So this is Barcelona at home to Granada, and yeah, we're going to be trading under 2.5 goals in a Barcelona match. And a lot of newbies would look at this and just be like, well, you're absolutely crazy, there's going to be loads of goals and all that sort of thing. However, these matches are actually some of the best. And remember, when you think about what we spoke about, being a contrarian, everyone's expecting goals in this one. And if we can, well, get involved in the market and then let the market guide us, and also let the in-play action guide us as well, then we could make some low risk profit. Okay, if the match starts fast, Barcelona come out the gates, look like they're going to score really quick, and the markets go static, then you know what, we just exit the trade before the inevitable goal arrives. But if there's a bit of a sluggish start, we could see a very, very fast drop in the price, and that is what we're going to look to profit from in the first 10 to 15 or even 20 minutes, depending on how the match starts. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're going for in this one. Very high price on under 2.5 goals, 3.9. Over 2.5 is 1.33 to back. So yeah, this is as crazy as it gets. But anyway, the match is just about to start. I'll give you an update once we're underway. So we're like 7-8 minutes into this now. 0-0 Barcelona Granada. And the price on under 2.5 goals is dropping pretty quickly. It's now into 3.2, okay? And we could take that 18% profit right now if we wanted. But no reason to get out just yet. 0 goal attempts from both teams. Barcelona 93% possession, as you would expect. Nothing strange there. But no goal attempts, and I've got the stream there playing as well, and it's just been a bit of a slow start. But we're going to give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to look to take what profit we can. But so far, so good. We're being contrarian. We're letting the market guide us. It is moving down fluidly, and we're following the live action, and we're ready to be flexible if Barcelona really start to turn it on. Okay, they do have a corner. Let's see what happens from there. But you can see here from the chart, it's moving fluidly. It's exactly what we want. Okay, so in a few minutes, we should look to get out with a profit on this one. So just hit the 12-minute mark. Pretty uneventful start. Barcelona really struggling to get going in this one so far. So that's good for us. Trading the unders. Okay, we're going to exit out the market, and let me just put in an order to now lay under 2.5 goals. Remember, we backed it at 3.9 pretty much, and now we're going to look to exit at 2.92. Okay, as soon as that is taken, and it's going to give us a free bet, or pretty much a £30 cash out. Okay, not sure if you can see it on YouTube, but Granada have a free kick, which is why the markets have stalled a little bit, and that kind of fits in with exactly what I spoke about with letting the markets guide you. The markets have gone a tiny bit static in the last minute or two, as you can kind of see there, and so that's another indication that, you know what, it's time to get out the market and take whatever profit is there. And so we're going to lock it in, and so that is a £32 profit. That's a 33% return on our stake within 12 minutes pretty much. And you can see how we can keep it low risk. Okay, we keep it low risk by keeping your eye on the market, being flexible, being prepared to get out if there's anything that we don't like the look of. Otherwise, we just stay in, and then yeah, we're pretty much done. 10-15 minutes, and that is that. Okay, so some good examples for you to check out in this video, and yeah, I think that this has been a very good example also. So I hope that those clips and those tips have helped you out with trading the under 2.5 goals market. And don't forget that the free football trading strategy session is not available on YouTube. You have to click the link in the description to go check that out. And in that session, I do show some ways of trading the under 2.5 goals market in a bit more detail, alongside some other football trading strategies. I actually give you a sneak peek at all the football trading strategies that are working for me, alongside more real-life demonstrations, including of the trades you can see on the screen right now. So remember, this is not available on YouTube. You have to click the link in the description, go over there and check it out, okay? And anyway, thanks for watching. On the screen now, if you want to keep watching, there should be another really good video for you to check out. Click on that, and I will see you right there.